The Serious and Violent Crimes Unit in the Western Cape has now launched a manhunt for suspects in 2 mass shootings that occurred in Khayelitsha and Nyanga over the past few days. 8 people, which includes a 4-year-old child, were killed during those attacks. Let's take you back to Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi, who's been covering the story for us. Nasiphi, good morning. These communities, not even 13 kilometers apart, in mourning again. And as you shared with us earlier, this is a repeat occurrence where you have these mass shootings happening. We spoke to the CPF earlier on in the day. Where are you now? And tell us what you've learned.
This morning we continue with the story of the mass shootings that occurred this past weekend. As you put it, communities are ravaged by crime, and once again an element of mass shootings taking center stage both in Khayelitsha including in Nyanga. 4 people gunned down in each communities in less than 24 hours rather, leaving 8 people dead, the youngest being in Khayelitsha, who was caught in a crossfire when that shooting took place at a barber shop. And we heard just about 2 hours ago from the CPF that the case in Nyanga with the mass shooting leaving 4 people dead is that it is indeed linked to the mass shooting that we saw last week in Tsolo in the Eastern Cape, that one of the people gunned down is a relative to that family, and it had been after a meeting that was held by the family that is here in the Western Cape, rather, talking about the funeral arrangements. But we are currently at the provincial office here in the Western Cape to speak to General Patekile, who is the provincial commissioner of the police here. General, we've seen a number of mass shootings since April, about 20 people gunned down in the townships of the Western Cape, particularly here in the metro. What is the plan, or does the police have a grip on crime in the province?
Look, we have a plan, but these mass shootings, they do happen. But as we move, we arrest people. But as you take one group out, then there is a fight between 2 groups for leadership and space. But with this that has happened now for the weekend, as you already correctly said, the one in Nyanga, it's actually linked with Eastern Cape. And the people that were shot there, they don't stay there. They live in Danunu. They went there for, as you say, for other businesses. But we are cooperating with the Eastern Cape investigating team to understand the entire thing. We've sent our team there to look at that side, and I'm sure the Western Cape will come also so that we can see that one. It looks like there's a trend on that one. Now, what is the motive at this stage? We don't know. We're still looking what caused this. Remember, there's 2 provinces that are involved. Once we combine our foot, we may then be able to say what was the motive. Then the Khayelitsha one, also what has happened. We are now trying to look. We still don't know who shot those people. All we know is that there was a shooting before this one, where WMED happened, where a combi, a quantum was identified as a quantum. And again, we were informed on the second one that there was indeed a white quantum. There could be other vehicles as well. So that's a common denominator between the 2. But in the first one, and they followed that combi, and then they were arrested 4 people, but they were only arrested for the possession of a stolen vehicle, a packet that was found with them that to have been stolen, but also we retrieved the combi. They're still under questioning. Whether that is going to lead to link the 2 scenes, that remains to be seen.
General, 20 people, we're now counting mass shootings since April, 20 people, and this is just 2 communities, Nyanga and Khayelitsha. The community is gripped with fear. What is the plan of the police in tackling mass shootings? And also, is intelligence being roped in?
We've roped in all intelligence capacities, not only from the SAPS, all the other intelligence fraternity, to assist to ensure that we understand who's behind these shootings. And secondly, we've deployed more policemen in those areas, and we are having partnership with even the city of Cape Town and the law enforcement. We are in these areas. Whatever you can see, one in Brown's Farm also was actually when you look in the places where you can't go. And the part that now we're seeing the trend is that people are shot inside the houses. As it tells us that there's a planned hit on people. So what we're looking at is to get this, identifying all these groupings and now make a trend of that. But remember, we depend on ordinary policing, scientific policing. We would have loved to have CCTV cameras in those areas, but at this stage, there aren't. But we promised that the city would put some in Nyanga for now.
But General, if you're saying it as planned hits, your words, how is then what role is the intelligence playing in mitigating these hits? I'm sure they are not planned via letters.
Look, the intelligence fraternity, we have arrested some of the groupings in the plannings, but not all of them. But it's an intelligence, a process that we must go through. But at this stage, what we've done to enhance that, we've employed other methods of getting to that declarations, what we can't discuss publicly, so that we can ensure that either the people that are behind this, we don't believe that it's just one group and one group. There must be something that is happening within those communities, and also requesting the community to work with us. We have issued the number, the toll-free number 0800 314444, which is treated confidentially. I must say that number has helped us in many of these extortion-related cases, because wherever we arrested people, there is an element of extortion that we've seen, or either it's extortion or it's gang-related or tax-related. Those are the three main dominant modus operandi that we've seen in the past.
And how do you then instill confidence in the community when it comes to the men and women in blue if we have 4-year-olds gunned down in mass shootings and 2 mass shootings in a space of, less than 24 hours?
You see, we need the community in the first place, all of us. As I was happy to see the spiritual crime prevention, the prayers that we had then were addressing the community on this thing, because it happens within the community. Somebody must have seen something, and a community must have seen or heard these plans. But at this stage, we are requesting more information from all the community to assist us so that we can prevent this before it is happening. Killing innocent children, that is not acceptable at all. That is why we're appealing to all communities to work with us on these matters. We've established forums, CPFs. We established so many forums that we can go to. The neighborhood watches, your community blues, sector crime forums, spiritual crime prevention, youth crime prevention. We've got so many of those that you can use. And I must say, when I left my numbers in many of the cases before, I must thank them, those who came to tell us what the information, when we follow that information, we became true and we arrested some of them. That number is still there, they can still use it, and now, up to now, they have not heard that their names were out to say so and so gave us this information.
And then, General, going back to intelligence now, is the Western Cape intelligence functioning properly? Is it capacitated? Is it producing the results and successes that it should be in preventing organized crime and planned hits, as you put it?
Look, the most of the successes we had were intelligence-driven, but there's always to be an improvement. One must understand that some few years where intelligence has gone under certain difficulties in transforming themselves. But I'm saying now with what we have, the leadership in the province, we're seeing the results, and we're hoping that within no time we'll crack many of those things, because there is some shake-up that has been done within that environment.
On that note, we'll have to leave it there. Lieutenant General Patekile, the Provincial Commissioner of the Western Cape for Police here, talking to us about the 2 mass shootings, but also painting a picture as to what police is actually doing, or what they are actually doing when it comes to tackling planned hits, as he put it, including organized crime, which is one of the main contributors of the crime that we're seeing playing out in the townships in the Western Cape, particularly in the metro. But with that being said, we will be speaking to the Social Justice Coalition, who have said on numerous occasions, advocating for various recommendations on the Khayelitsha Commission to be implemented, saying that if that was implemented, and the fact, or rather with police working hand in hand with various communities, we could have seen a reduction in these mass shootings that we've seen playing out. Quite concerning, 20 people rather gunned down between the communities of Khayelitsha and Nyanga since April. It is quite concerning. Community also indicating that they are gripped in fear and calling on for more police visibility and a more implementable solution when it comes to policing in their communities.
Nasiphi, thank you very much for that important update as communities in both those areas and beyond still continue to live in fear. Still ahead.